I'd like to call the Town Building Committee meeting of Wednesday, May 21st, 2025 to order. First order of business, W.T. Rich Company update. We don't seem to have folks there, do we?
No.
Oh, there you go. Oh, you're,
Hi.
you're one of them.
Is
They're usually in the other one.
It's just me.
There we
Just
go.
me tonight.
So the floor, as they say, is yours, or the table.
All right. I'll start off with the site. So we've got into 114, which is great. We've actually been in digging. We did our test pits and installed our fire protection tap. Next week we'll be installing the domestic tap.
Yep.
So it's good to be started over on 114. Septic fields have made a lot of progress. There's still some additional layers that need to go in, but all the subsurface sand and piping has been installed for the septics. The town hall pump chamber and septic tank are in.
Yep.
And we're getting ready to, behind town hall, the landscapers mobilizing on Tuesday to start spreading loom behind town hall.
Wow.
So be
Very
good
cool.
to actually get the landscaper to start finishing off some areas.
Cool.
So,
Get enough loom?
oh, yeah, I think so. I think we'll be all right.
That seems to be a topic of conversation around town.
Yeah.
Availability of said loom.
Yes, I've heard this.
Yeah.
So public safety, masonry is still ongoing. Should be wrapping up in the next 2 to 3 weeks. With that, we just set the rooftop unit last week.
Yep.
Trim, PVC trim, window trim ongoing.
Yep.
Inside the building, we're drywalling, so
That's good.
it's
Moving and grooving.
you get lost in there now. It looks like a completely different space with all the board up. Detention area, all the cell CMU walls, door frames are going in currently in the apparatus bay. The overhead MEPs have started.
Okay.
So there's a lot of work going on in there. Town hall, same thing. Another crew of masonry guys is over there. There'll be probably two to 3 weeks left of masonry work and exterior PVC trim. Inside the building, we're finishing up MEP roofs, and we are also started drywalling in town hall as well. So, in a nutshell, I think, those are the major activities. So
That's enough of 'em.
we're cranking,
Yeah.
and so things are looking good. Buyout, no, other than the final cleaning. That's really all we have left. Permit status, no changes there. Schedule we went over. Stone wall, you want to talk on. We are getting, an engineer was out today to review the wall.
This is the one.
This is the retaining wall?
Yeah, this is on the northern side of the property?
Correct. So that we can get an affidavit.
Well, southern
that.
side of the property, right?
Yeah.
It's in the north.
It's the north.
north.
Yeah, it's north.
The north one that's like next to the,
The retaining
The-
wall.
the retaining wall next to the, like, the pond?
Yes,
Coming in? Okay,
correct.
all right, yeah.
Yep,
All right.
yep. So, we'll be able to produce an affidavit for that should satisfy Scott, so.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep, and if we want to go through contingency and, got a healthy balance in contingency that we have.
One quick question, so you're gonna be doing the southern wall starting up too soon? Are you gonna have the guys while they're here? Is that the game plan? How are you doing?
Which wall, I guess you?
The southern wall.
We only have one retaining wall,
One
which is the north.
technical retaining wall. We have stone, rubble, walls that go up against 114.
Not
with a
that one, I'm
monument
talking about,
sign.
like, where the parking lot is, like when that goes away. Wasn't there a wall again, like up there? There was a resident that asked questions on it back in the day.
There's no.
On the southern section,
There is no retaining wall at the back.
by Brigadoon.
The
like
stone wall.
The stone wall.
We don't have.
Did we
a
we
wall
got rid of
there.
that? Like we graded or something? Is
No,
that-
there was never a wall there. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no.
I thought there was like a Gabion wall. Am I losing my mind?
A wall?
The Gabion was where the north wall we were just talking about. That was a Gabion wall. It got changed to
To
the
Ready
Ready
Rock,
Rock wall because of the loads required for the guardrail system.
Yep. Okay.
But yeah, that's really the only retaining wall on the property.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, the neighbor on that side, there was never a wall over in that area, so I'm not sure what that.
Yeah,
Just there's the stone.
Yeah, we
wall.
did some contouring. There's a berm. Landscaping is gonna go on top of that to create a visual buffer.
Yeah, this is like kind of in where the, what should we call it?
There's
The,
a detention basin in the back there.
not all the way in the back. I'm talking more closer to like, towards 114. On the, like, that'd be the southern property line.
Yeah,
I thought there was something, okay, maybe I'm wrong.
yeah.
Clearly I am, because you guys are telling me I'm wrong. So.
It'd be news to me.
Stone
if,
walls that run that whole length.
There are, right? Yeah,
Stone walls.
Yeah.
Which were built by the original farmers.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and was that an issue we talked about way back when?
That's what I'm
when
saying. I
it was
thought the
headlights-
resident had
headlights
asked.
from the parking lot?
Yeah, and well,
Yeah.
what the,
Thinking.
I'm thinking it's right over here, like right in this general area, like through here.
Along what was the
What was the parking lot?
original parking lot.
Yeah, like over that area. That's what I was talking about.
There. Can you see that angle on it?
Because the resident that's on that
Yeah, I
corner,
know the
I thought
area
had a
you're talking
concern
about.
or something.
Well, they had done a cut along that edge of the property for the electric service. So we have the underground low voltage
Yep.
conduit duct bank,
Right.
and then the primary duct banks
Yep.
going in. So there was quite a bit of cut that was done over there. So
Oh,
if
so
somebody
maybe
saw it
that might be what it
at
was.
that
Okay.
point,
Yep.
they would have thought
Yep.
like, "Whoa, this is going to be very steep,
Steep, yep.
embankment." But all that has come back up.
Oh, okay.
We probably filled that 4 or 5 feet.
Okay, so that would cover what I'm sure. Okay,
Yeah.
good enough.
I thought it was.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, no worries.
All right. Brian, I think you're up, my friend.
Yeah, just I think we're
Oh, I'm
good
sorry.
with just some dollars here.
Yep.
You know, we do have some contingency that Brian, that's in our owner change order 6, so we'll have that 79,963 coming from contingency. This meeting, allowances, still plenty of balance left there, 2 million, for 47,766 in the owner change order 6 that we're gonna review tonight. And next page, not much there other than the owner change order 6, the 85,606 that Brian will present tonight.
Okay,
Okay.
Other than that, I'm good.
right on. Questions, guys? Anybody in the crowd want to have a question over there?
Careful, this
All right.
crowd will get rowdy.
I know, he's a rowdy person.
Ready for me to begin?
You're on, sir.
Okay. So we issued our monthly report earlier in the month. We emailed that out. That covers the month of April. This is a picture of what it looked like. I'll go through some of the financial information in just a moment. Just like Matt's schedule, this is the original one from the first meeting that Matt put up. And from that original schedule, everything is still tracking in accordance there. I think the one that you have on the screen, Matt, just has a little bit more detail, but everything is still tracking the same, which is good.
Cool.
I did receive a monthly schedule update from Matt this morning. I'll review it. Once I've reviewed it, I'll send it out to the building committee for their reference. So this is the site as of this morning. Just like Matt was talking about, you can see the 2 septic fields that are being put in. The one for Town Hall is much further along. The dosing system is installed at the top layer. There's still a few more layers to go, and then the public safety one is coming up. But there's quite a bit of site work going on, and you'll see here, this picture was from early April, and just to give you a comparison, that's what it looked like from the beginning of this week.
Very cool.
So you can see significant, just to go back, scaffolding up. A lot of the masonry on the apparatus hadn't been finished. The front door, that hadn't been finished, and here we are, the scaffolding's down, the brickwork is nearing completion, windows are almost all in, the roofing is complete. So in a little over a month and a half, a significant amount of work that has been put in place at the public safety building.
Terrific.
Then interior, as Matt said, it's a beehive of work. It's all been drywalled. The walls are now taped with the first coat of drywall. The overhead roof is going on. The town hall building, the Mason has really, it's not as big of a building, so they just feel like they're on all four sides all at once. They've really been tackling it quite fast. So, they're on all around the building. The area they haven't gotten to is this one face. So it's really good progress at town hall. This is the community room on the first floor. You can see it's all been framed, the drywall. First layer's gone up on the, and then they're starting to build out the soffits. And then on the other floors, you can see, the rough-in is pretty close. The tops of the drywall are up. And the picture in the lower left is the lobby stair opening to go down to the first floor.
So that's the hearing room, right, that I'm looking at, right?
Yeah.
okay.
We were joking about that earlier.
What is it, the
Lobby stair.
What are we calling,
The main stairway?
Is it the main stair, what is the monumental stair? There's a lot of different versions
Yeah.
of what,
And then
what are the
as
suggestions?
Matt was showing too, the underground stormwater management systems are going in too, and then Route 114 work is underway. Website continues to get updated. We have a blog post that should go up tomorrow with the air handler that was put on the roof of public safety, which is kind of a big thing with the crane pick. So that will be our blog post we put up tomorrow.
Great.
And then we'll update the photographs tomorrow as well with everything from this week. Budget update, very few changes from when we met last. Our remaining committed is essentially the same. We're still working with the buyout of furniture. We just started those conversations this week about how are we going to go about the buying out of the furniture. It seems like the best option is to do state purchasing contract for that. That's what I'm hearing, and so I think we're just beginning that right now. So, next month to two, we should be receiving quotes and looking to lock that in. So the number that I'm carrying for furniture will be able to report, what that is. Right now, it's just budget. And then station alerting, we have a proposal, which I'll show you a little later, that we, instead of purchasing the full amount of the price through LW Bills, it was more advantageous to use the electrical contractor to complete some of the wiring. So that will round out some of the money I have remaining in that line item. So other than that, budget is pretty good. We have a couple of budget moves this month. Actually, just one since I met with you last. We had GPI, you approved the resident engineer services, so I just moved the money into the line item for that, so I took it out of contingency to fund that. So that's the only move that I've made in the budget this month.
Great.
Cash flow, we are now reaching the crescendo of the project. This is where the bills are going to be coming in about $4 million a month over the summer. That's when you get more trades on site. There's activity everywhere, and then we're going to be looking to buy out some of the other owner-directed scopes too. So when you add all that up, it's quite a bit of work that we're putting in place at the same time. So the next, I'd say 4 months to 5, we're going to be somewhere close to the $4 million range of billing, and you'll see that reflected in the requisitions that I have for you in just a moment. So we have no other additional services requests this month. And I'm going to go to the screen on potential change orders, just to give you an update of where things stand on change orders. Everything in blue has been finalized by the team, and we've submitted to Justin for his review, and then I think, Bill, you just received today
I would have seen
a
it today,
few
yeah,
of these. So we're still working through, Justin and I talked about some of these that we sent his way today, so he's still doing his vetting, and you have a couple of them in your court. So these in blue will probably be in the next change order next month. The ones in yellow, our team are working on vetting, so that's context with their engineers are reviewing some of these. Matt and myself, we're going through. So, some of these are either in context court or with WT Rich for pricing. There's one that we put on hold until we bring in the, we have a state interview room recording equipment vendor that's about to come on board. So we had one that affected their work, so we put it on hold. So these are what we're tracking right now that's up and coming. And as you know, we report to you every month, we work very hard at trying to find alternatives to reduce cost or other ways we might be able to eliminate them. I know that we had a meeting with Quinn, our Miss Metals company yesterday, working through 3 of them, and I think we agreed to void one, have one, and we were going to accept another. So, so there's a lot of work that's going on in the background here to manage costs. This one PCO, we do need an approval tonight for the building committee. I know we had a meeting with this committee to go over 4 PCOs last week. This one came up since we met last, and I need an approval tonight so we can order this equipment. I had reported to you that Mass DOT asked us, required us to replace the traffic controller with a newer model. In the review of the submittal, it became apparent that the cabinet also needed to be replaced. Their new standard for the traffic control cabinet is a 4-door double-sided cabinet where we have a single-door one-sided cabinet. So it results in our having to order a new, bigger cabinet and an increase of cost of $15,722. So we would be looking for an approval from the building committee for this PCO specifically, so Matt can release this equipment. It's a long lead. It runs about 14 to 16 weeks, and we have to have it in place for the fall. So we're under the gun right now. Do you want to go to the end, or do you want to do the
We can take it
approval
while
now?
we're here, if that's, I mean, we're here, might as well make sense, right?
Sure.
So someone want to give me a motion to approve PCO, what number is it, Brian?
82B,
82B. Oh, not to B.
in the amount of $15,722.
I would make a motion then to approve change order 82B, the amount of $15,722 for a new electrical cabinet.
Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
Second from Nick, everybody, all in favor?
Discussion?
Discussion, oh, we can have discussion, go.
So we'll get this straight. It was a single door, single-sided cabinet. Now we have to get one that's 4 doors, double-sided.
They changed their standard
Right.
at Mass DOT within the last, it's like super recent, like within the last 6 months.
So we couldn't
So
have-
while we've been on the process of this and getting this approved, it changed and they've required us to update because we're not under construction.
That is correct.
So there's not a lot of leeway on that because this is their standard.
And we couldn't have foreseen this.
I don't know about foreseeing it. I mean, they were in the process of changing their standards and they kind of do that in a black box, to be perfectly honest with you. So,
A
this is their-
4-door black box.
a 4-door black box, apparently, yes. That's wow, very funny.
Yeah, sorry.
What's the difference in functionality?
I'm sorry?
Just easier to get to?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
So they require this on any intersection. It doesn't matter the complexity of it. So the equipment that they're requiring us to do literally could run
A full
a
signal.
ginormous intersection.
Yeah,
You know,
like a
at
full- a regular full
The
signal.
Market Basket is that big intersection with roads coming in different directions,
Yeah.
pedestrian walk lights and all that. What we're being required to do it's the same controller.
Same controller, and then the box is different, though, because that wasn't the standard when they bid that project. So, yep.
So this will be.
I think it's overkill, but I mean, that's their standard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's obviously overkill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as long as we know that it's going to take care of the traffic light that we're going to get, correct?
No, do we, I mean, where are we with traffic lights?
So we have GPI, our traffic engineer, updating the traffic warrant analysis. I haven't received it back yet, but we have tasked them with that.
Yeah.
That is what we need to be able to open up that conversation again with Mass DOT.
And the word analysis is going to be based on what? Do we know?
Beyond my skill set about traffic, I know that that's what they're working on, and that's what we need to complete. Honestly, it's traffic counts is what it is. What the DOT letter originally stated was that the warrant analysis was incomplete, and so they felt that they couldn't give us a complete definitive answer, but they said, based on what we were seeing, they didn't see a justification.
Yep.
So we need to complete the analysis so that we can get their definitive approval.
If I
Or-
may,
or-
Brian.
Or
Or
denial,
change.
right.
Yeah.
One thing for the committee to note, like, so when HKT did their study, it was back in 2019, and even from HKT to when the project that is potentially going in at Angelica's went in, the traffic counts increased, so we need our own set of the data for that intersection to show the volume changes. Also, the HKT data did not indicate that there would be any trips generated on Saturdays and Sundays from the public safety building, which we know is not an accurate.
That's when we close.
But again, this is, so just so I'm understanding everything, right? Because I know you guys were kind of taking the lead on this, and I've been kind of a little ancillarily, like, aware. So, because I obviously understand what the warrants are, I'm just not following which one we're gonna hit. That's why I'm asking. Because it's not a signal to get out of the main driveway. It's a signal for the.
For public
For
safety.
public safety only.
Yeah, but at this point, the data didn't show any weekend traffic and had counts that were not significant for what 114 sees today, because the traffic has changed so much since the HKT study was done.
Okay. When did they do the counts? Or when, are they doing it now?
I'm
just curious because-
I have only tasked them to do it.
Well, just because Mass DOT decided to change their configuration at the downtown, so now we have traffic queuing, like, pretty much back to the other signal that Mark
Yes,
has.
it's
So,
horrific.
yeah, yeah. So, I mean, I'm not
I
sure.
don't know
if-
when they're going to be in the field, but can we ask GPI when they're?
Or if they've done them already or not. 'cause
No, they have.
They haven't, that's good. So I just want to make sure they're
So-
covered in the
We're
current
capturing the
configuration.
moment.
Yeah.
What we were asking them to do was to update the municipal campus counts, because they showed 0 for Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that they were going to do any changes to the other counts.
But the signal's not a signal, because keep in mind, we had a lot of conversation, and this is why I'm trying to chime in here, just because we had a lot of conversation during the planning stages where multiple people asked us about signals, and we
Yep.
said, we're only doing an emergency signal. So I'm not following why the campus counts are gonna even weigh into this in any way.
Yep.
Because we're not gonna have a signal there.
Honestly, I don't think they will, based on what Mass DOT said.
Okay.
You'd have to hit, I forget the thresholds.
Oh, I know, it's not gonna hit
was
it.
like 2,000 trips per hour
I'm aware, yeah, it's not gonna hit
in
it.
order for it to make a difference. But unfortunately, the way the letter was written, the information we provided was incomplete, so they didn't give a definitive answer.
Okay,
But the reality is, I agree with what you're saying, is knowing this, what I read in the standard,
yeah,
there's no chance we're hitting the thresholds that would warrant a different signal.
that's where I'm at, so.
I agree.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm just curious on what we're spending money on, because we've already done it. So, I mean, I know we want it. I mean, obviously, before all of this started, I helped out, Doug writing the letter. I mean, we tried to get this to be done. I mean, I just don't know if it's gonna happen. I mean, it seems to me, we might be pushing a rope here, that's all.
I think
And
it's.
I don't wanna just keep burning money for something that we're not gonna get approved in. I mean, I've made phone calls to Mass Dot. I've gone to the chief engineer, the deputy chief engineer, and talked to him about it. And,
Yep.
I mean, I'm getting a hard no, so.
Yeah, the letter said if you don't hit these thresholds, then there's no justification.
Yeah.
And knowing how the campus is going to be used, we wouldn't even come anywhere close to that.
Yeah, I don't think so. But again, the signal's not gonna be for the campus, because it wouldn't have been at the intersection where the campus
Right.
driveway
Well,
is.
so you look at the counts of, the number of trips that the fire department make in a given day.
That's what the threshold would be, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, you-
Couple questions I
Yeah.
just want to bring up. A, where's the money coming from for the 15,000? Is it part of the contingency? It's not like an addition, it's out of the budget, we're good, it's 15 grand, right?
Contingency.
Okay.
Yeah.
In your professional opinion, with the 5 of you sitting right there, if we approve the 15,000, whatever, does it make the problem go away, or we're gonna have to revisit this again?
No, not this particular
This
issue.
issue goes away, yeah.
And just let me get this straight. We're basically to be in compliance per what the state and what they require. We're obligated to provide, we have to do
We don't
this.
have a choice.
We don't have
Well,
a
it's
choice.
their right
That
of
is
way, so
their-
their
State
right of way,
doors.
they make the calls on what.
When it was designed and when we submitted our permit, it was a different standard. It
understand.
changed, and now they're saying you
Understood.
gotta comply to our new standard.
Because you haven't put it in yet.
Clear 100%.
Yeah.
Our answer.
Yeah, and it's obvious, they're gonna put their minds together, because, they're looking at trips out of the complex versus trips out of the fire and police side of this. It's continually baffles me, but we need to.
Baffles me too,
We need
to be honest with you,
we need
but-
to do something about this, because, we've been talking about this forever. We had that meeting, and they acknowledged that this needed to be reviewed. and
And that's where-
reevaluate it.
That's why we're doing the data with having GPI get the additional data. And then that's when, as we talked about, and I know, Bill, you missed the last meeting, so I apologize, we didn't fill you in, that we were having GPI do the updated data counts, and then we were also gonna loop in the delegation, because to your point, it's not an easy road to climb uphill with MassDOT, but it was felt like that at that time, and continues to be, that the committee wants us to just try every possibility. Because there was concern from Chief Twist, Chief Lacoste, Chief Sampson, that the signal, despite only being for the emergency team's side of the campus, was still a concern for 114 with the signal we were approved for. So
And I'm in agreement on
I'm
that.
just rolling through so that,
I mean, I know that they've approved them in other jobs, Frank, like, I know that they've done it in other towns.
With
and
lower
other-
traffic counts.
Yeah, I mean, just for emergency purposes only.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, I'm running into it in Wakefield right now, where they're trying to remove a signal on a project that I'm doing with them because of, we don't meet we don't meet the warrant analysis. So, I mean, I get the frustration.
Yeah, well, it's okay for some communities with lower traffic counts to get the appropriate signal.
Or it's a change in standard or change, I mean, this isn't a change in standard. The warrant analysis thing has been the same as far as I can remember. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's all the same stuff. But, I mean, at this point,
It's not- yeah.
I don't want to be burning design money. That's all I'm trying to say. I know it's accounts, it's in the realm of like a couple of grand, no big deal. Depending on what GPI is paying, small money on that too. But going forward, I just don't want to keep burning something. You know, this is more of a delegation and, you know, select board
the
writing
only
stuff,
thing
like
that-
other folks doing this besides like us just burning
Yeah.
money with engineers, because there's no magical engineering study that's gonna change that to be an approved warrant analysis. I know it
Yeah.
Just to be
in my
clear,
professional
it's
experience.
less than 10,000 that were contracted with GPI to do the additional data counts, and it's separate from, this is separate money from that.
Yep, I know, I'm aware of that. Yeah, I just don't want to keep spending $10,000s of dollars. I don't, to be honest with you, I probably would have recommended not doing that, to be perfectly honest with you.
Sure.
Just because we're not going to get there, so.
Yeah, we're going through, there has been a safety concern raised, so we're going through, we're getting the additional data that MassDOT said that we should go get.
Yep.
And
Jackie, when's that data anticipated?
Brian would be.
I don't have a date.
Yeah, we don't have.
Can we get an ETA from?
Yeah, we've been,
GPI?
I know GPI's we've been pushing them in a bunch of different directions with the Mass DOT permits, and they kind of lost sight of this, so I'll follow up with them.
Thank you.
So do we table this until we get that answer? Is the question.
Well, I mean,
They're unrelated, though.
you know,
I think they're both related to the signal, but this is happening no matter what. The
You'd need
box
it
requirements.
regardless.
Yeah.
Like,
well, we need to do something there,
doesn't matter
right?
what the signal is,
Well,
this has to be.
My only concern is just the difference, if, depending on the type of signal and the foundation design and all that, right? So if it's a different mast arm, or, because it's supporting different weight, there's different classes, I just don't want to start wasting dough on this, you know what I mean?
Well, the foundation is separate from this. This isn't
Well,
connected.
they have to build I'm assuming that, are we on complete hold on all of that right now while we're working through this? Or, I mean, I'm assuming we're releasing a cabinet, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, this, we
Or
have
I'm
to
assuming we're
order.
releasing a mast arm,
Yes.
right? Yeah, so just want to make sure that if this changes.
Yeah, that's already,
Yeah.
all
So,
of it's.
no,
been-
hear me out. What I'm saying is that if it changes to a signal, right, have we talked to GPI to make sure that the mast arm's still going to work? Because it has different weights and different equipment on it. That's my only question. I think we're good, but I just want to be sure that they've looked at it. That's all. I know that we've released it.
Yep.
Yep. Because
Yeah,
I
all
thought
this
I thought
equipment
this
was
issue was to
ordered,
bed and we're moving it forward, so, yep.
Yeah, quite a few, like 2 or 3 months ago, it was all ordered. More,
No, understood. And I'm not throwing stones. What
Yeah.
I'm saying is that, you know, we're kind of still revisiting this. I'm not shocked with where they're at. I mean, I think, you know, maybe if the dialogue's talking about, I mean, we have one of these signals literally 200 feet up the road,
yeah.
right? I mean, that's one that should be a hawk signal, actually, if you look at it. That's like one that meets the definition of why you would put it in.
Yeah.
And this one, to me, should be, using my engineering judgment, would be a regular standard signal.
Yeah.
Like that's there. So, I mean, I don't know if there's a way to maybe look at changing those out or something
That's where you
as
take
a
the
potential.
delegation to have a
Yeah.
conversation to say,
Yeah,
how
for
about we
emergencies.
put
To
the
me,
hawk
that's-
signal
yeah.
up the road and take that signal and put it here, and
See,
you
I
just
think
swap them.
that's what I would say. So you
But if
still,
we
otherwise
need
you'd
to-
still have one. So one's going to be non-compliant. Let's put the non-compliant one at least where it's going to provide the benefit for our emergency folks.
Yep.
We'll upgrade this other signal to meet the standard. and at least the state's square and it's unique, that's the key.
Right.
But I think having, to your point, Bill, I understand that I certainly am not one to advocate for wasting money. I do think that having that conversation with the delegation and MassDOT, having the updated data will only benefit our ability to have that conversation effectively.
Okay, so the data that we're getting is the traffic counts on the road, right? And I'm just not following how we're gonna meet a warrant analysis.
I don't think it's about meeting the warrant analysis. I think we've pretty well established in this conversation that that's not the end game.
Yep.
But I think it is to get the updated revised data, because we know the data we have submitted in 2019 was not sufficient
Yeah,
and not
that makes-
accurate.
okay, yeah.
So let's get the accurate data, whether or not it meets the standard. We know it probably won't,
Yep.
but at least we're going in with the best version of the data possible into the political conversation with the delegation to influence MassDOT.
All right. All right.
I know, and it's not like we're asking for $1 million here.
I hear you.
Signal, it's a signal.
Right, but unfortunately, it's a signal on a road that we don't own, right?
I know.
Otherwise, we would have made the different
Well,
decision.
that's why we gotta fix it, too.
So, if I can help out with this, please just add me into the
Yeah.
conversation, because.
And I think Brian will get us, can you email the committee with an ETA on the GPI report when you get it? Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that, as we're moving this thing forward, we're not putting any strain investments in. I know we all want to push for it, but if we're pushing a rope, let's not just burn money.
The other question I have is that a data analysis, how long have they been working on it? Is it like 2 days or is it like 3 months?
2 weeks. Like 2 weeks,
It's
something like that.
yeah, it's not much. They just put out, they put out traffic counters. Usually they're doing it for 3 days during the middle of the week. It'll be a Tuesday to Thursday. Then they take the data, distill it down, and give
I
you
think we
a
just
letter.
want to make sure that they
Should
do
be a
anything
week,
before the
weeks.
school year ends.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's my only
you and I
note.
just talked
Yeah.
about this recently.
Yep.
Higher counts, yeah.
Yep, always the case. All right, so I think we beat this to death, I think. Are we,
Yep, so we
are
were in
ready to-
discussion. We
we've
have
had
to
our
finish the
discussion. Do
vote.
we want to
We had
take
a
a vote
motion
on
and a
this?
second already, so.
We do, right? Do we want to, any more discussion? Do we want to take a vote to release the cabinet and do the change order? All in favor?
Aye.
Great.
Great, thank you. Since we met last, we've had 2 requisitions for payment. This one actually has already been processed and paid, but you never formally voted on it, so I don't know if you want to do that tonight, just so we have the vote. I don't know, Jackie, do you think that's something we would need to do?
The select board voted on it.
Yeah.
It would be nice to have the building committee vote on it, but it's not required, but it's certainly best practice.
Right, yeah, so it's, so this one.
But
uh,
if I may, just the building committee, just from cash flow purposes with processing of warrants, we've been keeping things moving.
Yep.
But this is all part of the contract that's been agreed to. It's all reflective of the change orders you've agreed to.
Okay.
So we have requisition for payment number 10. This covers the period of time in April, it would be prior to that, March. And then I have 11, which you'll see in a moment, which covers the month of April. So it's right in line with what we were expecting in terms of cash flow. It's been certified by Context Architecture and approved. And we've reviewed and approved and recommended that it be processed for payment. So it's for $3,705,637.
All right, folks, can I get a motion? Any discussion before we take a motion? I just going forward, I mean, I think we're supposed to be recommending these things, right? So I don't like doing it after the fact. If we could just try to follow the process, it'd be great.
Yeah, we normally get them to you sooner, but the way your schedule aligned with the select boards was funny this month.
Okay.
Because we were later this month than we usually are. We're usually the beginning of the month,
Okay,
so we'll be on track.
all right. Can I get a motion for pay rec 10, please?
Bill, I'd like to make a motion for requisition payment number 10 from March in the amount of $3,705,637 to approve it.
I'll second it.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Number 11 was just certified this week. This has been reviewed in detail with the design team and also my office as well. We provided comments, and this is the revised. So this backup behind this is about 60 pages of information. So it's been vetted, and again, as expected. $3,735,241. So this covers the month of April. So we are asking for an approval for requisition number 11.
Any discussion, folks?
Bill, I'd like to make a motion to approve requisition number 11, payment number 11 for the month of April in the amount of $3,735,241.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All right, second by Paul. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okey-dokes.
Okay, great, thank you. Change order 6 we have for you tonight. It is $85,606. I'm not going to make you read all that in fine detail. I actually have it bigger for this so we can look at it. This is the detail.
Yeah.
So I'll just go through it briefly so you can explain each one. So we have, I put in yellow anything that increases the contract, and then anything in green is either a GMP contingency draw or an allowance. So the top one, PCO 28, this was for powering the handicap switches at the town hall. This was a coordination item, so we're using an electrical allowance that we had within GMP. Detention door glazing, which was PCO number 43. Again, this was an item that in GMP we carried an allowance for it, so this is, or actually this is a contingency draw. So it doesn't increase the contract value. PCO 46, this one is an owner change order. This is related to the meld generator change. When we brought that change order to you, the bollards that go around the equipment was overlooked as it wasn't included in that original change order. So this was added, and so it's $9,002. This would increase the project value. PCO 57, these are light fixture modifications. This was requested by the design team, so it's a $1,886. It does increase the contract value. This particular PCO 64, again, we had some change orders that came through. We missed the fact that the finish on the bollards for added work needed to be galvanized. So this is the upcharge to galvanize the bollards.
We did them as galvanized, or did we do them?
I don't remember having that discussion at all.
I thought we had, I thought we,
Wasn't here that time.
I remember having it. I thought didn't we pick it to be like black, or to match the color of the other stuff? Or
They'll
am I-
still be painted.
Oh, they'll be painted?
Yeah. Galvanized engine. Yeah.
So they'll be yellow, but they're, is that,
Not yellow.
There's a few different colors.
Yes.
so
Yeah.
depends on where they go.
They're field painted.
All right.
So
we're-
these
You're
are
talking
the-
about the steel bollard structure itself before concrete's filled in, that the metal has been galvanized prior to painting. So, for longevity, I guess.
Correct, yeah. So, this is bollard spec finish. I mean, is there anything more to add, Chris, if you recall? No, okay. So this is really the finishing of the bollards, because the original scope had it just as steel, and for longevity, we needed to galvanize them. This here is a, during the buyout, PCO 66, this is a specialty. We missed shower seat, so it was just in the buyout when we were making the award. This was missed in the RTA that we had for that. So this is being picked up and covered under an allowance.
Is that a requirement, like an 88? That's an 88 thing, right?
It's
Just
an
to be
88.
clear, okay.
Yeah, so this is
Just for anybody listening, it's something that we have to do.
small item, but it was just over.
I love a shower seat in my own bathroom.
We had significant.
Not just giving them a nice shower seat. Just,
Significant savings in the buyout. Part of that savings is because we didn't buy out the whole scope. So this is, so it's really, we're just catching up to where the contract should have been. Bullet resistant drywall. This was a specification gap. When this was bought out in the police, we needed to have the drywall be bullet resistant. And so this is a change to the project. But we were able to work out a way to mitigate it, and so this is a significantly reduced number from what it could have been. The team worked hard on that. proposed overhead door track change. This we presented to the building committee last week. This is in the apparatus bay. We're changing the configuration of how the doors are tracking overhead.
So Brian, is it gonna be horizontal or is it gonna be vertical
It's
overhead?
mostly vertical with a little overrun at the very top horizontal.
And you guys are okay with that? All right, cool.
Yeah, we had a good discussion about that
Yep,
last meeting.
yep. So that's, we're going to use GMP contingency to cover that. PCO 77, this was protecting the floor of the apparatus bay within the GMP. It's for the contractor to provide protection, but it wasn't in our original GMP, buyout, we didn't include this. So this is GMP contingency is going to use to provide it. And then working with the design team, we wanted to make sure that it was a good quality, something that, because we're going to have a finished epoxy floor, it's a very visible floor, we wanted to make sure there's no oils or anything that was damaging that concrete finish before the epoxy went down. So this was something that was discussed at length. We looked at two different options. The other one was significantly higher, so this was a much more affordable way to do that.
Brian, could you break it down for me, what kind of protection they're using for $57,000 for the floor?
So it has thickness to it, so it can resist impact loads. You can run lifts over it. It's also waterproof. And it's a very large area. Yeah. It's not bramble.
It's like a vinyl
It's like fire resistant. I've seen it on some job sites too.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
It's like
Correct.
plastic. It has some cushion to it, but it's fairly thick.
Gilbane used it at the MGM Theater for temp floor protection. Yeah, I get
Yes.
it.
Good stuff. And there's, the install, and then there's some costs in there for protection, or maintenance.
So for $57,000, we're gonna own that floor protection. What happens when we're done needing to protect the
Have
floor?
it if you want.
Give us an address. We'll drop it
Yeah.
off at your house. if you want.
Buy a bag for
Yeah,
$57,000.
We're gonna
That, would,
not
that,
bring
would,
the
that wouldn't be a
procurement law.
no-no, because that's an ethics violation, so we wouldn't allow that.
But if the town had another purpose for it, certainly.
Yeah.
That might make sense,
Let
yeah.
us know.
You got other-
And then, so this revised traffic drawings, this 36,000, that's the controller that we presented to the building committee last week. The floor change increase for the multipurpose of the town hall to rubber, that was presented to the building committee last week for 20,000. Station alerting cable proposal, we also presented to the building committee last week. This was a much better price, more competitive than we would have gotten through LW Bills. So that was already approved. And then this is a steel contractor remobilization GMP contingency draw. It made more sense for the steel erector to go away so that the mason could move around, because the police canopy is very close to the building. If we had put it up while we were doing all the other steel, it wouldn't have made sense. So it was better to pay a small charge to have that contractor demobilize and come back later and install that. So that's all that's included in change order 6, which is for a total increase to the GMP contract of $85,606.
Discussion, guys? I think we already had some, but
Bill, I'd like to make a motion to approve change order 6
sounds good.
in the value of $85,606.
Can I get a second, folks?
I'll second it.
Second from Frank. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, great, thanks.
All right.
That is it.
Context. You guys are up.
Yeah.
Anything new that hasn't been covered, ideally?
Well, we're nearing, I think, the end of our product data, shop drawings, and submittals. Continue to answer RFIs. And we had Thornton Tomasetti on site on Monday to do their final walkthrough of the structure so they can provide affidavits. And yeah, just continue monitoring.
Anything come up during that walkthrough?
I understand that it was
should be
about a
concerned about?
4-hour walkthrough, just going through all the details of everything. They'll provide a field report of their findings, and that'll get issued to the WT Ridge team to address, but nothing that's been directly brought to our attention from them. So I think we're in good shape. Nothing
Is that right?
outstanding.
Okay. Anything else?
We've been working with Jackie and Justin on furniture, and we're preparing that package for
Doing a lot
procurement.
of sitting.
Yes, a lot of chair testing, desk
I've
testing.
sat in a lot of I've sat in a lot of chairs on your behalf. I hope that's okay.
Sounds good to me. I don't think my butt's gonna be in many of
Open and
them.
close a lot of filing cabinet drawers as well.
It's exciting stuff.
It was very riveting. I'm very grateful.
All right, moving on.
Thank you, Jackie, for your service.
Anytime, Nick. You got it.
Paving timeline discussion.
So the construction team has given us an option, since our target completion date, substantial completion date is basically February 1st, it's the very end of January. At that point, does it make sense to delay the finished paving to the spring?
Yes.
So otherwise, they're going to have to do finish pave in the fall, and then we're still going to be on site and doing work and whatnot. And, so, they just wanted to give that option. It seemed to make sense. That
Well, I
way,
think-
when you open the building after you've moved in, it's newly paved and looks fresh and clean.
I
So-
think as long as it's on a weekend, right? I'm assuming you'd want it on a weekend, because in theory, people would be in the building, right?
Yeah, and we brought it
So-
to the building committee. Justin and I had talked about it. We felt like the spring recommendation did make sense.
Yep.
Certainly, we'd like to see it done before we have our, kind of big community welcome event, but we were probably going to wait till good weather for that anyway.
Yeah. Sounds good
So
to
if
me.
it's okay with the committee,
With that being said, Brian, could you look into see if we will have to do this for at least amount of impact, if it's gonna be done, the paving on a weekend, what the additional charges are gonna be for overtime work and all that?
And
Just give us a
obviously that-
ballpark figure.
And the structure adjustments too. Because you'd have to adjust them again, right?
Correct.
Yep.
but we wanted to bring it to the building committee because it is an aesthetic decision as well as a construction one. So we felt like it was important that you all weighed in.
Yeah, I think you gotta wait.
Wait till the spring so it doesn't get
That's-
damaged,
that's
it
my
looks brand new,
opinion.
yeah.
Any other discussion on that, guys? You guys good with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll
Just
work
get
on
us the
getting some
cost, let's
additional
work that out.
information. Yep, okay, great.
All
Mr.
right.
Chair, before we get to meeting notes, can I ask a scheduling question for the group?
A scheduling question, you can.
So we have tonight's building committee meeting. We had attempted to skip April because of school vacation week, and as we learned, that didn't go well for us. So we do have your next meeting scheduled, and it's already on the calendar for June, I believe it's
18th.
18th.
Yep.
We'd like to propose we continue with the third Wednesday of the month in July and August, but because it's the summertime, people might be traveling. We wondered if the building committee would be okay with a Zoom for July and a Zoom for August.
I'm sorry, say again?
A Zoom meeting for July and August, Paul, instead of in person.
I could make that work.
So we
I
could
think
keep
that-
up
yeah.
with the PCOs and the review, and then we'll regroup in September in person. And I'm hoping to bring furniture samples to the June meeting in person, and then July, August, we could keep up with PCOs while people travel and things for the summer
Okay.
via Zoom. Would that be amenable to the committee?
Yeah, that's fine.
Would you like to not be the third week of the month, Frank, because of MELD?
No, we worked around, we scheduled the next meeting, so it wouldn't be a conflict, but I'm.
So June
Because-
18th, yeah, June 18th may be difficult for me because I'm gonna be coming back from a conference in Rhode Island.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna be away.
So is
do we
June
have a-
18th not a vibe anymore?
Definitely not vibing because I'm Monday through Wednesday. I'm driving back on Wednesday.
Okay. About the 25th
That's
of
good for,
June.
that won't work for me. I'm gonna be away.
How about June 11th?
June 11th.
Is that enough time for furniture? Samples?
We should talk about what exactly we're looking for that.
Okay.
All right, I may have I'm having a little bit of a June problem.
Yeah, because I wasn't gonna look at July 2nd. That felt like not a
Yeah,
great
that's not
week.
good.
If it's on a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, if we're proposing to do a Zoom, I can make whatever date work, but if it's in person, it's gonna be difficult, like this evening, to get here potentially on time.
So the week of the 23rd, this room has select board on the 24th and ZBA on the 26th. So that's why I was looking at the 25th.
I mean, we're usually under an hour though, right? I mean, could we do it before the ZBA meeting?
Would Thursday be okay with you all?
Does that work for you guys? The
Thursday,
26th?
the 26th, yeah.
Is that doable?
Was it June 20?
Yeah, okay.
So we're canceling June 18th,
Move it to the 26th, Thursday, the 26th?
6 PM on June 20th.
You'll send out the calendar invite anyways, right?
Absolutely, I will.
Great.
And
sorry about
then,
that.
looking at July, if we were to follow our traditional schedule, we would be looking at July 16th. Is that a decent day, or are people away?
That's good on my end.
So far, yeah, looks good.
That's good for
Paul,
me.
Nick?
Yep, I'm all set. Make it work.
So that's July 16th at 6 o'clock on Zoom.
Yep.
And then August, while we're at it, the third week would be the 20th. I don't know if that's a bad week for people or not.
I look good as of now. So I'd say go for it.
Should be
How about
okay.
everybody else?
I'm good with it, yeah, that's fine, whatever you want to do.
With
What
what?
do you want to do?
Yeah, calling in. that's fine.
Yeah, so Zoom for both of those. And then we'll resume in September a regular in-person schedule once we're back out of the summer.
So what'd you come up with for August?
The 20th at 6 PM on Zoom. And I'll send you a calendar invite,
Yeah.
Paul. You know me, I love the calendar invites.
August 26th.
20th.
I mean, I love it too, because it's an excellent reminder.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you for that. Appreciate it.
but it's Zoom.
I'll be in California.
I know, it's fine.
So then you can come.
Yeah, you can still zoom
Yeah,
in.
plenty of time.
Time
Afterwards, yeah, right.
I get a motion to approve meeting minutes for March 26th.
Well, I'm going to abstain because I did not read them.
I make a motion, we approve the meeting minutes for March 26th.
Do I get a second?
Second, but they were adjusted, correct, Brian? Was that was it these minutes or the me minutes that had the minor errors?
Both had, Kyle was listed as an attendee on the first one, and he wasn't there, so I dropped his name down, and then the second one, I had you and he flipped on the motion, and who seconded, so he just corrected that. So those are the two
So
edits.
they've been amended, okay.
Then
So-
you're gonna second it now? Now he's in. All right. All in favor?
All right,
Aye. All right. Meeting minutes for 5/8. I haven't had a chance to read those, but
let's do it next month.
you want to just do those next month? Can we push that? Cool. Thanks. All right. Folks, anything else before we adjourn?
That's it.
Approximately with the schedule, and this is to WT Rich, when are we wrapping up the masonry work at the front of the fire station? Just curious.
The next we probably have till the end of June, we'll still be over there.
Just out of curiosity, because of, there's other trades working in that location that they can't get back over there? or-
Yeah, pretty much, exactly. So, yeah, there's a few coordination, items that, held them up a little bit, but probably end of June right now is when they should.
The other
be
question I
done.
have for you is up at the upper roof. During my walkthrough, there was some waterproofing or temp roofing tying in at the base of the wall. Has that all been tied in, rectified, finishes on the wall, or what's the scoop with that?
Upper roof, the flat roof, the
Yeah,
membrane roof.
yeah.
There is that's still not finalized, there was a PR that came out that changed some of the tie-in details around
Yeah.
how that PVC membrane ties into the.
Whether how far up or flashings or
Correct,
something like that?
correct.
All right.
So that's still in progress.
And then during my inspection of the air barrier, the foil face up at that
Yeah.
area, there was looked like there might have been some damage to the jip sheathing prior to the installation of the air barrier, and I reviewed that with your clerk, saying,
Okay.
hey, listen, you can't be spanning over gaps with this membrane over a certain size. It can't be over like,
I know they were in
how boy I
RJ
saw,
Kenny's
like-
field report, the envelope consultant.
as long as you guys are on top of it, it's being rectified. I'm good.
Yeah, there were a few of
Yeah,
those.
Alex walked with you,
Yeah.
and so he's made it,
All right,
he
very
brought
good.
that up to RJ Kenny, and it's in their report.
All right, very
It
good.
becomes an observation for us, and we track it and close it out.
I see observations all the time. SGH is kind
Yeah,
to
SGH.
provide them.
Yeah,
All right, very good, I'm good.
Good, thanks.
Thanks, Nick.
All right, folks. That's it. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Second.
We are adjourned.